Hey y'all, did y'all miss us? Because we sure missed you. Look, watch, like, and subscribe to our channel at Sis 1988, as well as follow us on all our social media platforms at Sis 1988. And today we're going to come with you with just us three BFFs. We're going to talk about what true love is versus what we were taught love is. So first, let us introduce ourselves. I'm Jamie.
I'm Latoya.
And I'm Calandra.
Okay, guys, again, thank you for joining us. So I guess I can start it up. Okay, true love versus what I was taught love is. Can say that it's really not too much of a difference. I just was always taught that it's unconditional. It doesn't have any circumstances labeled to it. Like, I love you if you do this, I love you if you do that, or things like that. Like, the women in my family, they stay together and conquer through thick, thin, mud, water, blood, river, ocean, mountain, trees, lakes. Not a lot of divorces in my family, honestly. Not very many at all, honestly. Surprisingly, that's why it surprises me. My grandmother she's been married 3 times. So she had, her teenage husband, because back in the day, people were married when they were like, she married him when she was like 17, 16, 17. Then she married again. My dad's dad, they were together for 20 something years, and then they divorced, and then she married another guy. She was with him another 20 something years. But then again, my granny is 94. So I guess you can squeeze in 3 marriages at that, at that age. What about you guys?
What I would say, I think love probably really wasn't spoken a lot, like in my household as I was coming up. Like, to be honest, I'm probably the one that probably really instilled it into my family. Like, because to me, I thought it wasn't normal. Like, once I got older and kind of had a better understanding and started kind of seeking out for myself, like, I started telling like my dad, my sister, my grandma, my mom that I love them, because honestly, I wasn't told that a lot. So to be honest with you, I kind of had to fish out there and figure out on my own, like really what love is. And I think you said something when you said like love is unconditional, because it is. That's something I really had to learn in my older age, that love is really truly unconditional. Like, really, true love is really unconditional. It goes through everything, whatever it is, whatever the storms are, it goes through that. Yeah. So for me, I learned that really, to be honest, on my own at a later age. Sad to say, but I did.
No,
Yeah.
it's not sad. It's not sad. I mean, it's not sad because you figured it out. Some people don't figure it out. They get in their old age and don't figure that out.
I'll say this though, because maybe I shouldn't say sad enough, because it was just never, the word was never really truly spoken. But I think my people showed that to me though, like honestly, because even like my mom and my dad, they were divorced, but so my dad like really fought for us, like to come to see us, like really to be honest with you, like my dad, like, okay, so they went through divorce. He had rights to be able to see me and my sister, whatever. We have the same dad. And during that process, like, he was very adamant about seeing us. That's love. Like, he was very adamant about seeing us. Like, every other weekend was his weekend.
Yeah.
And he didn't play about that. Every other weekend was his weekend. He heard what nobody had to say, but he was coming to pick us up. So honestly, it was shown to me, but it wasn't really spoken to me.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't said. So to be even those things still resonate with me, honestly, because I would not trade my daddy for the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say that I'd agree with you. I had it both, but I would say it was more so my mom's side, my mom and my mom's family, they have tough love. So my mom, I guess both sides of the family, mom and dad both had disciplinary families, but that like affection. I think that's a part of love too. But that part comes from, believe it or not, my father's side. So it was always hugs and kisses. That's why it comes natural to hug and kiss people that I love. It doesn't. It's not uncomfortable. Versus my mom's side of family, it's not a lot of that. But it is definitely the support. The things that I tell y'all about her and the other 2 brothers assisting with my uncle with the MS. It's not being said most likely. I think my mom was probably saying it now because I think in her older age, she's probably, which is why I said what I said. But when we were like, when I was younger, it's like, that's just not a word I heard her say a lot.
Say, yeah.
Mm-mm. Not her or anybody in her family, honestly. But as I became an adult, me and my sister, her mother, we finally started hearing that word. You understand what I'm saying? It was like all of a sudden it was okay to say it. But when we were growing up, that just was not going on my mom's side. They were just too busy being tough all the time, tough about everything, tough, tough.
It was the same for me. My mom, she's not affectionate at all. So she's not
Mm.
huggy, kissy, all of that stuff. I love you, all of that stuff. Like me, as far as like me and my brother, like we never heard that. Maybe every blue moon, but like all the time, no, she's not affectionate at all in that way. But love is for me, it's an action. So you learn it through how you're being treated. You
Yeah.
know, like your family, like they show up. You know, you show up for your family, the people you care
Mm-hmm.
about. You be there. You keep your word. You know, things like that. Like the interaction was always nothing but love with my mom, my grandmother, my aunts,
Mm-hmm.
uncles, cousins. You know, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they always been there. So I think it was more so shown versus said. Now my uncles are more so the affectionate ones in the family. The women in my family, no. My uncle, they always
Ain't
like,
that
good kiss on you, love you, you know, all that stuff.
It's so
But
crazy that you see men that'll do it before women. They was like
yeah.
that, but it's not my dad. You know what I'm saying? It's just like my dad and them that come natural. My dad will randomly. He been and made me mad 2 or 3 times during the week, but he'll text randomly, "I love you" to me and my sister. He does just randomly. It's nothing. He still want me, 40-something-year-old woman, to sit in his lap and stuff like that. Like that, I'm not gonna sit in your lap and smooch like. But he actually, honestly wants me, to do that. Sometimes I think I've had that conversation with you. I think he forgets how old I am. Sometimes I really do. Like I don't know. Do you know any 40-year-old women sitting in their daddy lap getting kissed on? Because I don't.
I'm gonna be looking side eye, just gonna be honest.
Right, I'm like,
Like, wait, what's going on over
no,
here?
I
But
love
I do think you said something though with that toy, though. Like I think maybe that's something I could bring to the forefront. Like that's something I think I didn't understand at first. Because I think even when I just made the comment that I made, love is an action, to be
The
honest.
act.
Because people give you lip service all day long. They can tell you they love
Correct.
you, they love you, they love you, but that's not what they show you. But
you.
then when
Yeah.
you think about it, you like, love is really an action, to be honest.
It's the
Like
action.
it's something that somebody shows you, like over time, like whatever they do, whatever they did, however they
How they
treat
did
you, so on
it.
and so forth. Yes, however they respect you, whatever it is. But
Mm,
really, love is really an action, though. Love.
It's an action all day long.
yeah.
It's an action through and through. It's not just a word that you say.
No.
It's what you
No,
do. How you treat
and
that
I
person.
don't use it loosely either. And I
Yeah.
would say it's like from my mom when I say the tough love. Let me see. When I seen the love from her when we talk about action. When I first got sick or whatever, but we were still kind of just going through the motions and just trying to figure out. They were just trying to figure out what was going on with me. She did not leave my side for
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what 3 months, and then I had even still that affection wasn't still there. So I remember writing her a letter and asking her to allow my daddy's 2 sisters to help her because I seen the draining in her. Because I know for almost a month and a half, she was in that, it was a recliner. They didn't even, bring her, and it was beds. And I remember just getting up one day, making a walk, and I walked, and it was this white family that was across the hall, and the dad was in there in a what is it called, like the couch with the bed.
Mm-hmm.
That one of those were in the room, so I'm looking at the nurse, and I'm on this walker, and I'm trying to hold this IV pole, and I'm like, why my mama don't have one? My mama been sleeping in a recliner. And she was like, "Oh, has she?" And I'm saying to myself, "You've been my nurse." But by that time, she had been a nurse for a while. So when I came back from the room, that's when I wrote the letter. And I told her, I said, "Mommy, I seen that it's a couch bed, and I want you to get you some rest, be able to go home, and let my aunties help you. You can stay during the week. I know you want to be involved. I definitely was gonna tell her to like go home and don't come back because at the end of the day, I was her daughter. But I was saying, like, I see that you need basically in the letter, I said, I see that you need a break, and and it's hurting my feelings. That I feel like you're really not getting a comfortable sleep. You're not really getting a good shower. And she wrote me back. You know, I think like today, I think a mom would read their letter and speak. Oh, baby, don't worry about me. Mom, she wrote me a letter back. That's how it was. But my mom is a Taurus. My mom is a Taurus, and my mother is a Louisiana girl. You know what I'm saying? So she had that soulful. What can I say? Give me a word. She had a different type of way of without saying it, but she did not leave my side. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and she would be at the end of my bed like that. You know, she never left. I just wake up and I see her. She just had her head there. I say,
Well, she a Taurus. That's enough said. That's all you got to say. That's all. We gonna be there. That's one
I
thing
knew
we
you was
gonna
gonna
do.
say
I'm a
something.
fellow Taurus. One thing we gonna be there. We might not have shit to say, but we gonna be there. We will be there. We will be there. So
the bull,
you blessed with one of the best moms in the world, honey.
the bull that she had plenty, honey, but it's just that wasn't one word. But that's when I knew, and I remember she wrote me back and basically said agreed, because I told her that, you know, how much that was hurting me, that she was over there in that recliner, and then when she would be at the end of the bed, it's because her back was hurting from that recliner, you know. So that's when my auntie starts turns. One auntie would do Friday, Saturday, and the other one would do that Saturday and Sunday. And Mama would come back Sunday night. So that's how it works. She started just doing 4 days and bed, because I had another little sister. So I think even for my little sister, I think at one time I think she felt neglected because everybody was so focused.
Focus on you.
And I remember taking her to the side, and I asked her, because she was acting out. Me and Bad getting in trouble all the time, and getting in trouble ain't what you want to do with Teresa. You know what I'm saying? So I just took her to the side. I was like, hey, you know, basically, I hear Mama fussing at you all the time. Like, what's going on? Do you feel like nobody? I just asked, do you feel like nobody paying attention to you? And she said, yeah, like they just take me to school, and they just bring me home, and I don't know what's going on and stuff like that, you know. So I wrote Mama another letter. And I told her what me and Megan had talked about. But it was always letters. It was never open, like an open conversation, as I would now. It's gotten better. Like I said, as me and my sister has gotten older, we talk about everything. Open. Maybe because we're grown women now. But when we were kids, it wasn't as open. Now my daddy, we ain't never had to worry about saying nothing to that man. It's whatever, talk about whatever, talk about the boys at school, the teacher, whatever. He didn't care. It was never a closed door. We never had to be like secret or careful or anything like that, as far as if it was a conversation we wanted to have with him. It was pretty much open, as well as with his family. So what about y'all with your family, with the love, like those conversations, you know, meaningful conversations? Did y'all feel like those came hard? I'm sure y'all
What to
had,
have a
I don't think they came hard.
and what I mean is, like,
No.
me saying I wrote a letter. Like, I didn't directly talk to her. Like, I wrote a letter because that's what was comfortable for me to do. So that's what I mean. Like, conversations that, you know, needed to be had. Do you think that was hard?
I don't think so. Because my family, they ain't got no secrets anyway. So if something's going on, it's probably already being talked about anyway.
But not
To
necessarily
be
a
honest,
secret. Not
but
secret, but just in general, something that needed to be talked to, something that needed to be addressed. You know, that would
not really. Unless, I mean, as I have gotten older, it's kind of like there's certain things that like we may stay away from, is if it's involved like the siblings or something like that. Me and my cousins, we know our place. It's certain things that we may not necessarily touch.
mm,
But as far as if we want to talk about it, we can. It's not like we can't, but it's just certain things we choose not to, just in respect for, you know, the chain of command. Like we respect the chain of command. It's just certain things we let them have. We don't touch it.
hey, what about your Calandra?
For me, I would have to say, I mean, you just mentioned, I'm a Taurus, so right. really whatever I'm feeling or thinking, like I'll come to you and ask you, like, to be honest, like, because even I have asked like my parents like before in the past, like, okay, why come y'all didn't say that y'all love me? Like to me, no conversation is hard. To me, I think the thing is to avoid the conversation that needs to be had, regardless of whatever that is, you know? So for me, having the conversation was never difficult for me personally. Now that might have been difficult for like my family because I'm approaching them with that. Because I do remember when I kind of first started telling like my family that I love them. Because I think, like I said again, I think I'm the one that introduced that really to my family to outwardly say that to them. It was kind of like some hesitation with them, like to say that they love me back. But now it's a thing. They already know. Like before we hang up the phone each time, but majority of the time, let me see. Maybe Farrah, me and Farrah, we probably still struggle with that one a little bit. That's my sister. That's my road dog. But at any rate, she's not affectionate at all. But even her, she will still say it, but she still shows it in certain ways, or she'll send emojis. That's her way of expressing that. She may not say that, but with it being hard for me personally, no. Like some of the other people in my family, maybe it's hard for them, but for me, it's really not. That really wasn't hard for me to approach at all, you know. Because to me, I'm a straightforward type of person. Whatever I'm thinking and whatever I'm feeling, I'm going to come to you and let's talk about it. Let's talk through this. Let's talk about it. So I would say no, that wasn't really a hard thing, you know, for me. No.
Mm-hmm. It came easy. It's came in. Well, like remember I said it's never been a problem with my dad's side. Never. They shadow folks over there. Sometimes some of that stuff I be wishing they keep. Like I really didn't want to know that. But my mom's side of the family is every gathering I learn something new, and it's like, oh my God. But I think
What would y'all say? When did the light bulb kind of go off, like in y'all's head, like to question, like, what does love mean to you, though? Like, when did that light bulb go off
when
for
I
you guys?
start when I start really having like relationships.
Yeah, I was just
Okay.
saying when they start dating.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that one because I have had to question some relationships in the past to say, okay, is this really true love? So,
Mm-hmm.
which honestly really brought me to the point to like really it's kind of reversed, but I mean, I wish somebody would have showed that to me up front. Because even me, I showed my son that, you know, hey, this is in the Bible. This is what it really is. I think it's First Corinthians chapter 13. I don't know the exact verse, but it's First Corinthians chapter 13. But at any rate, but it tells you exactly what love is. You know, love is patient, love is kind. I don't know the full verse, but it goes on to say exactly and define, you know, exactly what love is. That's something that I wish was shared with me, you know, early on, you know, really in life, you know, to be honest. But I did question it. And so when I looked that up and I was like, okay, is this really love that I'm experiencing? This is not really love. Like you said, to me, I think that's when the light bulb really went off in my mind. It was in a romantic relationship with someone. And I was like, okay, this cannot be love. I know this is not what God set us up to do. This is not what he set me up to feel. And that's when I kind of really went in and explored more like, okay, what is love? What does it mean to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then how do I exhibit that to someone else? And then also, I think something else that also came to me as well too in reading that is I have to exemplify love in order to receive that love that I want in return. To me, I think that's so important. I have to exemplify, again, I'll just repeat that again. I have to exemplify what I want to receive. I can't expect
I
to
agree
receive
with that.
love and I'm not giving that out.
Mm-hmm.
I agree
No.
with that.
Although it's so many people, that's what I'm going back to what I said. Some people never learn it, but it's so many people walking around with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and they've been loved, but they have spent, and it goes really like you talk about relationships. That's why they're talking about these men that are getting now you 60, now you want to settle. Well, you old and crumble now, but you didn't play these games and had your fun, and all these good women have been in your life and loved you, and you just never gave it. You never gave it back. Now what? Now look. Now where are you? It just has you like thinking. I think I had shared with y'all. I was saying like I was telling y'all something, and I was like, is these people still playing games in their 70s? You know what I'm saying? You almost 80.
People play games at every age. It just
You
depends.
know
Yeah.
You
what
know,
I'm saying?
everybody matures
But
separately.
yeah, but it still questions, do they really know the meaning of love? Some people really do not, never learn it. They don't take the time to ask themselves that question. They're so busy just receiving it. They're too busy just receiving it and not giving it. They've never
Or
had.
trying to receive it if they don't even understand what it is. Because I mean, I have to say, like I said again, I think I was guilty of that. If you don't even really understand, you have to exhibit what you want back. You're gonna get what you give. You're gonna get what you give out.
Yeah.
To be honest.
If you don't have it to give, you won't give it. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as we wrap down, what do y'all think? What do we leave the audience with? We all need to leave them with something on love. What would we leave them with?
I would say
If somebody is searching and trying to understand and trying to receive love, what we leaving them with?
I would say what you just said. You give out what you want to get back.
Yeah.
You can't use mine now.
And
I gotta come with another.
You said what
I
you
know.
leave them
No,
with.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Mine would be that love is unconditional. Love is through thick water, mud, mountains, rivers, trees. It's unconditional.
And then love is also it's an action. It's not just a word. It's an action.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true. So yeah, I think I've recapped probably on the both of what both of y'all said. So I totally agree, with that. But I would say to honestly to seek God and to really fully understand. And I'm sorry, and we'll drop that down below. But I know it's 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I say seek God to fully understand what love is, to know and understand. What he's telling us. What love is. That's our God and our rule book. He won't lead us wrong. Yeah, it is right there.
All answers there, honestly. All answers is there, but yeah, I agree. This has been joyful, y'all. So
until next time,
there's strength in sisterhood
and support in sisterhood.
Bye.
Bye.